Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS. Let's get to the news now, folks. This is the kind of move that could seem minor on the surface but has huge implications for the Falcons' defense and overall roster strategy. Just recently, the Atlanta Falcons made a pretty interesting move that's caught the attention of fans and analysts alike. They signed safety Henry Black, a player who's been around the league, trying to find his spot, and at the same time, they waived wide receiver Mackay Polk. This isn't just a roster shuffle, it's a calculated decision that could have ripple effects far beyond what many of us are seeing at first glance. Henry Black's story is quite compelling. He's been around the NFL for a few seasons now, having signed with the Green Bay Packers after going undrafted in 2020. And if you remember, Black played in 25 games for the Packers during the 2020 and 2021 seasons. That's no small feat for an undrafted player, especially at safety, a position that demands versatility, intelligence, and a real knack for reading the game. During his stint with Green Bay, Black showcased his ability to step into the secondary and contribute. He recorded 46 tackles, which is a solid number for a safety fighting for his spot. But what really stands out is his knack for making impactful plays. He had an interception, forced a fumble, and also recovered a fumble, stats that highlight his playmaking ability even if he's not a household name yet. After his time with the Packers, Black had brief stints with the Indianapolis Colts and the Pittsburgh Steelers. These moves reflect how teams see potential in him, but also how competitive the safety position is across the league. His journey, however, didn't stop there. Earlier this year, he took his talents to the United Football League with San Antonio, where he played 10 games and amassed 21 tackles. That experience in a different league shows his dedication to staying in shape and improving his game, even when not on an NFL roster. All of this background makes his signing with Atlanta all the more intriguing because it signals that the Falcons see something in him, something that could add depth and perhaps even a spark to their secondary. But why did the Falcons decide to bring Black back now? Well, this ties into their ongoing roster evaluation ahead of the upcoming season. The team has been balancing the need for experienced depth with the desire to develop younger players. Black's familiarity with the Falcons' system from his time in the 2022 preseason gives him an edge, knowing the coaching staff, understanding the playbook, and fitting into the team's defensive schemes. His versatility as a safety, capable of playing both in the box and in coverage, makes him a valuable asset as the Falcons look to strengthen their defense. At the same time, the team made the decision to waive wide receiver Mackay Polk. Polk's story is an example of how competitive the NFL is, especially at the receiver position. Polk, who went undrafted in 2022, initially signed with the Packers and got some playing time in the league. During his stint with Green Bay, he played in 25 games, recorded 46 tackles, and had some notable plays, including an interception, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. His versatility and effort were evident, but ultimately, the Falcons decided that they needed to make room on their roster for Black, perhaps looking for a different skill set or a different kind of energy in their secondary. This roster move also speaks to the Falcons' ongoing effort to build a balanced team, one that can compete in this highly competitive NFC South. Remember, the division has become increasingly challenging, with teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints making significant moves in recent years. The Falcons, under the guidance of head coach Arthur Smith and general manager Terry Fontenot, are clearly trying to position themselves for a playoff push, and every roster decision is a piece of that puzzle. Bringing Black into the fold could give them a much-needed boost in their secondary, especially since safeties today need to be adaptable, able to cover tight ends, support in run defense, and even sometimes blitz the quarterback. Now, talking about the current state of the Falcons, this move fits into their broader strategy. They've been focusing on developing their young core, including players like Kyle Pitts and Drake London on offense, but also emphasizing building a solid and trustworthy defense. With players like Jesse Bates now anchoring the back end after his signing, the Falcons are trying to create a secondary that can be both aggressive and reliable. Black's experience and playmaking ability could be a perfect complement to that, especially as they continue to evaluate other safety options during training camp and preseason. It's also worth mentioning that this move could be a sign of the Falcons prioritizing special teams and depth. In the NFL, having versatile players who can contribute in multiple phases of the game is crucial. Black's past special teams work, combined with his defensive skills, might give him an edge in earning playing time, or at least provide the Falcons with more options when it comes to rotational players. And let's not forget, the NFL is a league where roster flexibility and strategic signings like this can be game changers. A safety like Black, with his mix of experience and potential, might just turn out to be the kind of player who can step up in critical moments. It also shows the Falcons' commitment to not just relying on their draft picks, but actively seeking out players who have been tested in different NFL environments and who can bring a level of grit and readiness to the team. Looking ahead, fans should keep a close eye on how Black integrates into the team during training camp and preseason games. His familiarity with the Falcons' system could allow him to contribute quickly and maybe even surprise some skeptics who see him just as a depth signing. If he can carve out a role, especially on special teams or as a rotational safety, the Falcons might have found a hidden gem to bolster their secondary for the upcoming season. This move also sends a message to the division and the league that Atlanta is serious about competing. They're not just looking for quick fixes, but are assembling a roster that can contend, that can adapt, and that can surprise everyone. The NFC South has been unpredictable, and with teams like the Buccaneers rebuilding and the Saints trying to find their rhythm, the Falcons want to make sure they're ready for everything. Signing someone like Henry Black, who's got NFL experience and has shown resilience, is part of that bigger picture. As we continue to follow the Falcons' offseason, it's clear that every move counts. Whether it's a signing, a waiver, or a draft pick, each decision contributes to the team's identity and their quest for postseason success. The fact that they're adding a player like Black, who's been around the league and has shown flashes of brilliance, shows their commitment to building a versatile and competitive roster. And for fans, this kind of move keeps the excitement alive, because it means that the team is always looking for ways to improve, to get better, and to push toward that ultimate goal, the Super Bowl. Now, wrapping this all up, it's important to remember that the NFL is a league of constant change. The Falcons are in a phase of strategic rebuilding and retooling, and moves like these are part of that process. They're aiming for stability, for depth, and for players who can rise to the occasion. Henry Black's signing could very well be one of those moves that pays off in big moments down the line. And for all the Falcons fans out there, it's an exciting time to be part of this journey. The team is making calculated decisions, and every step they take is aimed at bringing that Lombardi Trophy back to Atlanta. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Atlanta Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news. Let's keep the passion alive, keep supporting our team, and get ready for an exciting season ahead. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, go Falcons!